Oh, hi. TR here. I have not come to trash talk Firefly guitars. I recently bought a couple. I like them. I was watching Brian of Searching for Tones video on the Firefly, and it was, I believe, titled The Best Les Paul Budget Les Paul Style Guitar. And Fireflies are a good candidate for that. One of the ones I have here is this Aldo Nova model, which makes it that, is this Explorer style headstock on it. And it is pretty, and it plays good, and it's a really nice guitar for the money I paid. $199.96 for it. I know that exact price because I just bought it, so I remember it. So $200, let's say $200, okay? You want to say that? Let's say $200. I have lots of Les Pauls, and I thought, it'd be a good idea for a little comparison. So this is a mahogany body and a mahogany neck, and multi-piece, of course, with veneers. This one's a flame maple top. I have a flame maple Epiphone, but that would be a totally not fair comparison because that's my 59 custom shop Epiphone replica. And yeah, that would really be stretching it, the comparison. So the thing is, these play really nice. They feel really good. They're not as nice as the Epiphones, but they cost nowhere near what the Epiphones do. So $200, give or take. They range. We'll put them on sale for even $180. They will have fancier models that might get closer to $300, like $279. This is an Epiphone Les Paul Classic. This actually is one of my favorite guitars. And I have some Gibson guitars. This plays really nice. Now, this has a slim taper neck, so that neck on that Firefly is more like a 50s neck. This is a slim taper, but it's the same thing. It's the mahogany for the body and the neck look the same grain. Okay, I'm not going to debate that they might not be the very same species of wood because these are made in China as well. Where you're going to get into a big difference is you're looking at about $600 here as opposed to $200. This has an Indian laurel fingerboard, which people don't like. The Firefly is supposedly rosewood, but I'll show you what some real rosewood looks like on my 1992 Stratocaster fingerboard, and we can compare it to the rosewood on this Firefly here, and I'll leave that up to you. Okay, for electronics, this is an Epiphone toggle. The toggle on the Firefly seems like essentially the same styles. It's a Switchcraft knockoff. Pots in the Firefly are non-branded, full size. They work fine. These are CTS and they work fine. This particular model has a variety of push-pull, so it wouldn't be fair to compare that either. But that one doesn't pull. Don't pull that one. It doesn't pull. So what if, because you will notice this is shaped just like a Les Paul. Maybe the headstock isn't, but the body is pretty much identical. If you want to get really particular, it isn't totally identical. I can tell you that the carve is different on the top. And I can tell you the reason the carve is different is because this has a veneer on the top. And a real Les Paul has a solid maple top. Although this one is likely a solid maple top as well and not a veneer because it's a plain top. So what the Epiphone will have is very likely a plain top, maple top, and then a veneer over top of it to make it look pretty. But I digress. The veneer makes it necessary to not have as steep of a slope in through here. So there's less of a dish. A real Les Paul will have more of a hump there. So other than that, though, it's pretty much shaped identical. So what if you want to spend Firefly money and still get an Epiphone to get the Les Paul shape? Well, now you're stuck getting something like this. This is a studio light. Body is much thinner. Bolt-on neck. Fingerboard that looks and feels incredibly like the Firefly is some kind of a composite tech wood. Just not saying anything, just putting it out there, okay? But it is. It looks and feels a lot like it. Nothing wrong with this guitar. But if I was to compare this guitar to the Firefly, I think the Firefly is better. And you're talking the same money. The only thing this has going for it is that outline. Outside of the outline of the body, you know, the Firefly wins in that one. So, tuners, Firefly. This Firefly has great tuners on it. You know why? Because I've replaced them already. The ones that came on it are copies of Grover's. They're smooth and they work. My SG style guitar, which I'll show you a picture of, those tuners, because they're still on that guitar. Yeah, way to go, come through United States Postal Service on your shipping. Amazon Prime charged me $7.13 still, and it's been a week and a half and I don't have my tuners. We're negotiating the settlement on that one. Anyhow, I replaced these. Those, they seem to work okay. They don't feel quite as good as real Grover's. And if I tune down and go too fast, they click. They're skipping a gear. I think in the long run, that's going to be a problem. So that's why I'm replacing them at $35, $40, you know. Well, the ones I have coming were $30 and $7 shipping. These were $37. So, you know, these came in a timely manner, but they were from the Amazon warehouse. The ones that I'm waiting on came straight from the seller. And the seller is going to refund me my $7.13 shipping I paid, seeing as it's been going on 2 weeks and I don't have them yet. Hopefully they show up. You didn't come here to hear me bitch about that, did you? You came to hear about these guitars, Epiphone versus Firefly. So obviously the body shape is a thing, and I mentioned the tuners. So back onto the tuners. I'm just wobbling all over the place here. So these are Grover's. People will say, well, the Grovers on the Epiphones are different than the Grovers on the Gibsons, and they are. I did my research. Grover has 2 factories they make for the Rotomatics in. Taiwan, which is probably shortly going to be part of the People's Republic of China. Politics, we don't do politics here. And Taiwan and Korea. Yeah, Korea. They don't make them in the United States anymore. That's why if you get your nice USA Fender, it won't say made in the USA on it, because if more than 15% of the parts are not from the USA, it can't say made in the USA. And yeah, those Fenders, all their hardware's from Korea. Parts from Korea and Mexico and various places. So yeah, anyhow, back to my Grover dissertation, is these Chinese made Epiphones are very likely to have the Taiwanese Grovers, and the real Gibson Les Pauls are likely to have the Korean ones, which are probably made a little bit better. I don't know, you tell me. I have Gibsons, but every one of my Gibson has the Kluson style tuners on it, so I really can't compare apples to apples on those. So, Fireflies are good. They're good for the money. They're good for what they are. The actual finish on them, although it looks pretty, if you compare, the Epiphone looks like it's been buffed to a higher shine. That may be to do with how thick this finish is laid on, because time is money. The faster you can make it, the cheaper it is. So, as I said, 1/3 the price of that Epiphone. So, I'm not slagging Firefly in the least. I like those ones I bought. I'm very fond of my Epiphones as well. I just thought I would Compare the differences. And there are lots of other brand of LP style guitars out there that you could throw into the mix, which I don't think I have any of. I think besides those Fireflies, my only LP style guitars are Epiphones and Gibsons. So, what do you all think about that? Let me know in the comments.